I am now Chief Executive of an organisation quite simply called UK Music. It's an organisation which launched in October of 2008 and has but one very clear goal and ambition: to bring together under the same roof representatives from all of the British commercial music sector. Within UK Music, for the first time, we as an industry can truly have a single vision, a single objective, a shared voice, collective aspirations, opinions and viewpoints, one song, one voice. And considering the size of the lawn that we pitch our collective tent on, that is no small achievement. And I do have to give my applause to the members, the organisations and the individuals that make UK Music possible, for their insight, their courage and their determination for taking that step. For curiously, it is those very abilities that are becoming ever and increasingly important, especially when it comes to those big, all-encompassing issues, the ones which will affect the entire future of our industry. And I would think that there are few issues which are more fundamentally important than that of building a long-term, sustainable success story for digital Britain. And the world of many challenges and many opportunities, and it's a word we've discussed endlessly for years now, it is, of course, the internet. Clearly, there's an awful lot to play for. Actually, that's probably wrong. There's the entire future of this industry to play for. And I suspect that many people perhaps don't think about that enough. And in achieving that future, it is going to be vital that we do reconnect the true value of music, and that we do that with technology and with building partnerships with tech companies, with internet service providers, and reconnecting the music fan with the true value of what we create. We all, a very short time ago, looked at an iPod and inwardly said to ourselves, I don't know what the hell that is, but if it looks like that, I want one. But let's face it, now 5 years later, and it has only been 5 years, I hope we've begun to appreciate that what is really important about it is that it's got all our favourite tunes on it. And I'm certainly no longer dazzled by technology simply for technology's sake. Yes, Twitter and Facebook are innovative tools. And yes, artists and entrepreneurs are always amongst the first to find them and use them. And yes, technology matters. And to my mind, music and creativity matters much, much, much more. And while the internet has and while it's true to suggest that the internet has revolutionised certain aspects of the music industry, music has also revolutionised the internet. If you think about it, it is music that has fueled change and innovation. And whether that was an iPod, peer-to-peer distribution, social networking or e-commerce, and not all such an evolution and innovation has been licensed. Not all of it has provided the benefit to those who make and invest in music. Some claim, and I suspect often through somewhat vested interest, that music has no value in a digital age. But it is music that drove people to adopt technologies. It's the music that matters. But we are not the only business that faces a new realism. ISPs and startups are also now operating in a new era. It's true that the technology sector and the telco companies dwarf the global music industry, but it too is an industry in transition. And the financial spoils of that great migration from dial-up to broadband over the last 10 years is now being squeezed. In May of this year, 3 of Europe's largest ISPs openly complained that the bandwidth costs of delivering YouTube videos was becoming unsustainable. Google, they said, was reducing them to dumb hype status, and consequently, content owners should be compensating the ISPs for the traffic across their networks. The question becomes, is unlicensed file sharing good for ISPs? In the last decade, when there was a gold rush for subscribers, the answer was probably yes. Going forward, with things now reaching saturation point, I'm more doubtful. This market has to develop, and we must create incentives to develop it together. But ultimately, we in the music industry have the prize that's most important of all. We have that incredible, magical, tiny little 5-letter word called music. It is, and I truly believe, is a major, major opportunity to be seized, and one where artists, music companies and telcos can all benefit. Now, whether we should skin this particular cat together, to me, is a no-brainer. We have to. It simply becomes a question of how we skin it. As we move forward through the rest of 2010, we will work with our partners, with the film industry, games, with sport, with television, with radio, with ISPs, with tech companies, and we will find a way to make this work to benefit all of us. Once that system's in place, Ofcom will measure the impact of what's going on. Not only the reduction in peer-to-peer file sharing, but equally, and perhaps even more importantly, the impact we have on developing new services, giving customers what they want in a legitimate way that they consume it, and helping them better understand the consequences of what some people have been doing. Now clearly, that throws down the gauntlet to all of the creative industries. We now need to up our game, to reconnect with consumers and our technology partners, and to continue evolving. And as well as depending on new types of digital services, there are still millions of people very happy for that traditional world. In the UK, 92% of the population still listen to this wonderful, crackly, spittly old thing called analog radio. Last year in the UK, we could not manufacture enough vinyl. We're still going to watch live music in pubs, theatres, arenas and festivals. There clearly is no one type of customer. There is no one type of service. And for that reason, we need to license, and we need to learn to license, and we need to learn to license services we could not have imagined of, and we need to continue to innovate. It is vital that we build a competitive environment where innovation can thrive and music fans can opt in to a choice of services. Whether that's a few thousand downloads a month, a gender-specific store, or the freedom to share the entire history of the music industry, it is vital that all those who create and invest in creativity, who wish to be paid for their work, have the freedom and choice to do so. Times of turmoil have been good for speculators, and music has been their whipping boy. But it's now a new decade. The challenges and possibilities now faced are dramatically different to the last 10 years. It's time for creativity and technology to adapt to their traditional and symbiotic role, to be productive, not disruptive. The future, I'm pleased to say, is catching up with the futurists, and the spirit of realism is going to overtake them too. It is imperative through all of this that we remember the most important thing of all. It's simple. It's the music that matters. My name is Feargal Sharkey. May your God go with you.